In this video, we're going to talk about instant gratification. What is instant gratification and how can understanding instant gratification help you to achieve success? I invite you to really watch the video until the end and just follow through. I used to play that very simple game with my nephew, like touch your forehead just like that. And do you know that a 2-year-old baby cannot perform that very simple gesture? Why is that? Because they first need to take full controls of their fingers and to move them to wherever they want them to be. But also, they need really to understand, to decode and to decipher the weird sounds that come from their parents' mouth that we call words. This is why we need at least 2 years to master such a simple game, touch your forehead. So my question to you right now is, if such a simple thing took us at least 2 years, why is it that in our society we tend to think that we can master the English language within just a couple of weeks? Or some people might even think that they can master a language within a very short amount of time without even practicing. And this is what we call instant gratification. What is instant gratification and how can understanding that concept help you in your journey towards success? This is what I'm going to talk about today. In our society, there is this deeply ingrained belief that there is some sort of miracle, that there's a magic pill that would drastically change your life overnight. And once again, that is what we call instant gratification. Actually, this is such a human tendency that it was analyzed by a study conducted by Stanford University. And in that, we called it the marshmallow experiment. And we had kids who were facing two choices. Those kids, they could have one marshmallow immediately, or if they waited for 15 minutes, let's say that. If they waited for 15 minutes, they could have 2 marshmallows. But because of that human tendency, most of them, they chose the first option, which is only to get 1 marshmallow. Some of them actually, they were tempted to wait a little bit, let's say 5 minutes or 6 minutes, then they gave up and they went back to the first choice, which is to get only 1 marshmallow. The problem is some religious communities, politicians, and even marketers, they understand that. I don't know if here in Madagascar you've seen this advertisement from Orange, like in French it's accéder à toutes mes envies instantanément, like that, and it's really based on instant gratification. Or in some religious communities you would hear like we have oil from Israel that would just help you get rid of all of your financial debts, all of your financial problems, or if you're looking for the best wife ever, just join us. And once again, this is all instant gratification. And you know what? I used to think like that also. For example, 4 years ago, back in 2015, when I still learned Chinese, at that time I thought that I would master all of the 3,000 characters required within just 1 month. But if you learned Chinese before, or if you are still learning it, you'd know that we need at least 2 years. Not just randomly 2 years like that, but with daily practices, you need at least 2 years to really master those 3,000 characters, to understand 99 or 98%, I don't really remember, but at least so that you grasp what's been written in a Chinese text, modern Chinese text. So 2 years, not 1 month as I expected. So how can you then apply that knowledge, understanding that instant gratification is just an illusion? Once you acknowledge that instant gratification is just an illusion, let's shift away from that paradigm and let's assume that real change takes time. Real change really takes time. For instance, you plant a seed today, you do not expect that to grow into a 10-meter tree the next day. That is just impossible. And in one of the books that really inspired me, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, written by Stephen Covey, he really highlighted that if you are at step 1, your next challenge is to go to step 2, then step 3, then step 4, then step 5, without looking for any shortcuts or trying to cut corners. And in another book that really inspired me, the title I think is Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, he also observed that, first he analyzed hundreds, if not thousands, of top performers. When I'm saying top performers, think about people like Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, all of those people who are really good at their sports, they are really expert at what they are doing, let's say that. And the author, he observed a certain pattern. He deducted that those people who are really good at what they are doing, they practiced for at least 10,000 hours with daily practices, 10,000 hours. So to give you a rough idea about how much time it takes, if you practice for 3 hours a day, you would reach those 10,000 hours within 14 years. 14 years or 15 years, around that. And if you practice for 6 hours a day, you would reach those 10,000 hours within 8 years. So to make things simple, let's just say that 10,000 hours, that equals to 10 years. 10 years of daily practices to reach that top performance, those high level. So as you can see, that's really far away from the instant gratification that we always have in mind when it comes to change. I think we really need to get rid of that human tendency and just assume that instant gratification is an illusion. So in conclusion, no matter what you're doing right now, if you're trying to master a skill, let's say you want to learn the English language, you want to learn Chinese, just assume that at first you want to get results immediately, but once again, this is just instant gratification. I think as long as you practice, as long as you just follow the process, then the results will sooner or later come. But stay away from that illusion. Just tell yourself that real change really takes time. Until next time.